Hi, thank you so much for this special honor, the green tie. It's one of my favorite awards to look at. I love that green tie. Thank you. And while this year has been most unusual and we can't be together like in years past, I appreciate the opportunity to give thanks for this special recognition. It's not why I do what I do, but it is really, really special when you get recognized for your hard work. It makes it so much sweeter. You know, when I ran for the legislature 8 years ago, I worked so hard to win that I really didn't contemplate what it would be like to serve. And that's interesting, you know, because serving takes a lot of emphasis, energy, and focus. And so when I came as a freshman female Democrat in the legislature, I was really trying to find my way and what issues really resonated with me and issues that I really wanted to focus on. And what I really found the most impactful were issues with children, women, and our environment. And so since being in the legislature, those are the issues that I have focused on in trying to advance legislation that will help in those areas. And so also when I started in the legislature, when I was trying to figure out what issues were important, you also have to figure out how to get a bill to become law. And it's not that easy. A small percentage of the bills that we introduce actually become legislation. And while I have supported legislation where we've had some disappointments, but through the help of organizations like the Conservation Voters, we've really had some tremendous victories. And those victories, whether we're saying fighting bad legislation or advancing positive legislation, happens because of organizations like the Conservation Voters. Because of the staff of John and Rebecca, I look to them so much for information and counsel on where we are, because we can't know everything. And so when we have organizations like the Conservation Voters and Rebecca and John, who are there day in and day out, watching what's happening in the Senate, watching what's happening in the House, it really makes my job in the legislature easier. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I say this all the time, but I can advocate all day long for an issue, but until you get involved, it's hard to really make a difference. I'm one person out of 170 members of the General Assembly. And believe me, your voice matters and is very impactful. This award is as much for my hard work as yours, really. It recognizes, I think this award really recognizes this organization and all of you who support this organization for all of the accomplishments we have made together. You really make me a better legislator. You know, when I got the call about this being the recipient of this fantastic award, I was so excited. John had called me. And while we know what the Conservation Voters of South Carolina is about, and we all have an idea, I really never read the actual mission statement. So I looked at the mission statement, and the beginning of the mission statement says this: to make Conservation Voters of South Carolina is an organization to make conservation and environmental issues a top priority among South Carolina's elected leaders. And when it comes to this elected leader, me, you have succeeded in this mission. You have really made conservation and the environment a top priority for me. And I thank you for that. You know, when I first attended this luncheon, the Green Tie Luncheon in 2012, I was campaigning, I was running for office, and I could not have imagined that 8 years later, I would be accepting my own Green Tie Award. I'm so honored to be among the class of environmental champions who have received this award before me. Thank you. It is an honor, it truly is. I do want to end with the little words of wisdom, which I think is very relevant in today's times. I will end with the quote from philosopher Plato. If you take no interest in your government, then we are deemed to follow the rule of fools. Thankfully, this group agrees with that, and I do too. Thank you again for this honor. It's a pleasure.